Hey guys, this is Camfrey15, joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf. We're back at it yet again with another Dr. Stone Season 2 episode review. And what was a pretty crazy, intense episode, but at the same time, the end I was completely marking out at.
Dude, I was legit off my seat the entire time. Especially at the very end, right there, like...
It's definitely just some great stuff from Dr. Stone. So let's get into this episode. This is episode 10. Next week will be the second to last episode of the season, and then the week later, episode 12, will be the end of Dr. Stone season 2. Hopefully, with all animes, like we all say, hopefully we get a season 3 for this, because there's no guarantees for series like these where we could get a season 3. But hey, I think we are, but let's see. Anyways, last week we had the whole end to the whole war. There was a truce made, and we ended the episode wondering, will Tsukasa's little sister Mirai be able to be back to normal after the undoing the petrification? So we pick up from where we last left off, and we end up doing it. And you get this very, and I mean very sweet emotional scene that can bring you to tears of essentially a brother and a sister reuniting. And when she looked up at him and said, "You're older now," I was like... And then Go ahead.
But you look good, she says.
And when he started crying, I'm like, damn, this hits so much. And you can clearly see that, Tsukasa definitely loves his sister, and he's definitely overjoyed that his sister is alive and well. And when you just saw that hug, you just like, that's the content I deserve. And it's really, when we analyze Tsukasa, it's like when you first introduce him to the series, you never would think that the one person he really mostly treasured the most was his younger sister. You go back to the first season when he's just destroying statues and everything, the old guard and everything, and you're like, bruh, how can this character be redeemed?
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. This character has a redeemable qualities. Now, eventually, that ends up being a good and a bad thing in this episode. So, did you want to take the next part of the episode before the events happen where things get out of hand?
Yeah, this is where I start to get a little suspicious of who. He walks up to Tsukasa's little sister saying, "You're all dirty. You want to go wash up in that river over there?" I was like,
Hyoga.
Yeah, Hyoga. I was like, what are you gonna do to her? She's just a little girl.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Like, go on. You start talking first.
Okay. And at the same time, Senku is just talking to Ukyo and the others. Crow makes a point. He's like, whoa, we're missing a few sticks of dynamite here. We had more, where we had a full pack. And they're like, a few sticks of dynamite? And then lo and behold, they hear these explosions going off. And these dynamite things are going off because it's obviously, the doing of Hyoka, because they destroyed the miracle cave, which has the miracle fluid. And the old man said, the freaking miracle fluid is under all the rubble. And if it was in that rock cup, I think that rock cup is destroyed now, where all that miracle fluid is just gonna probably soak into the freaking ground and be nothing. So that's a bad thing, because now you can't revive more humans. You're gonna have to find a new cave to see where you can find more of this stuff. But I feel like they will find another cave, or maybe it's not destroyed. We don't know. We'll see about the whole little vase with the miracle fluid in it. Now, what happens next too is we see Suika actually go to the prison a little jail cell they're holding Homura, but we actually get a flashback, or we actually see that as a fake Homura, and that's when Suika realizes at the last second thanks to the dog. Now, we see earlier in the episode that Yo actually showed up in a flashback, and he saw Homura trapped in the cell, and essentially Homura's like, you do the right thing at the right time, because this is what Hyoga's plan is going to be. And that's essentially confirmed that Hyoga was turning. Essentially, that's when Senku realizes at the last second, he's like, wait a second, hold on. And then they get to Hyoga as he's kind of overwatching Tsukasa and Mirai. And when Tsukasa kind of takes a leave of absence or trying to walk away, that's when Senku and Ukyo show up, and they're like, bro, get your sister away from her. And essentially, what's his face? Hyoga's like, shit, my cover's blown. He does that spear spinning attack, try to essentially kill Mirai, but Tsukasa takes the hit, and essentially we find out later his lung is punctured, which could mean he could die. He could potentially leave, because I think you can live with one lung. It's just you can't do much like you used to. Obviously, he won't be able to breathe as, I guess, much, or he won't get enough air intake through one lung. He might not be able to do the same things, similar things, but he might not be able to do some things, because having two lungs is probably better than having one. But that's when he kind of tells Tsukasa, I forgot if he tells him when they're kind of together, him and Senku are together, and essentially he essentially tells Tsukasa the main reason why he did what he did and why he turned on him. And the reason was, he essentially felt like Tsukasa is being soft now, and he's not taking the stance he once did before Mirai got back. And essentially Hyoga, he's the type of guy, as he said, like, I was waiting for one thing for you to really deeply have a care for, a love for. And when that happens, I'm going to expose you. And obviously, now that his sister's back into the fold, that's the one thing he truly does have passion and love for. So Hyoga was going to use that as an advantage, because, you know, he even said, like, I tried to kill you in your sleep, but I know you would probably sense it coming from a mile away because your senses are up and everything. But now that you have somebody you love, your senses are down. So that's when I would have made my move. And
that's what I call a really smart villain.
Oh yes, very tactical, very tactical. And again, it's the whole type of leader dynamic of, you know, you have the leader, but then you have this other guy who's like, I should be the fucking leader.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And listen, we all hate, I hate Hyoga, but it's like, bro, this guy was a tactician. He was essentially waiting for Tsukasa's weakest moment, the moment where he just has something that he can cling on to, that he cares about deeply, and he was going to use it against him. And we have yet to find out if he'll have the last word, even though technically by the end of the episode he doesn't, but in terms of potentially Tsukasa dying, which, again, like I said, if Tsukasa dies after bringing back his sister,
no, that's the appropriate reaction, guys. That's the appropriate reaction.
I'm not saying I would be done with Dr. Stone, but I would honestly be heated. Now I'll be like, nah, Senku, tase that man to death. Anyways, what happens is Senku tries to help out the best he can in trying to help save Tsukasa from falling into the waterfall, but Hyoga kicks him down and he goes after them. So now Kohaku tries to go, but essentially that's when the others are not involved. So that's when we get this very crazy scene where it's like, shit, how is Senku gonna get out of this fucking mess? He always would have his backups at least stall for him to find something to do science related. But this guy is legit, like, he's cornered. He's got nothing. Tsukasa down for the count. Also at the same time too, he's also holding Tsukasa's chest to try to stop the over bleeding. Eventually, Hyoka kicks him away. He's like, "Stop that shit!" But it's like you're in this whole scene. You're like, "Bruh, how is Senku going to get out of this mess?" Listen. We all love Senku, but he is not on Hyoka's level of strength, and you're just like, "Shit."
Oh yeah, that moment when he made that like insane look, like get away and stuff, like I was like, Senku? Oh, he's plotting something. But oh my god, that's kind of off character for Senku until I saw what he just trying to do.
Well, I think he was trying to catch Hyoga off guard by which is what he did essentially. He was trying to catch him off guard by a change in character, making it look like, oh shit, I have no hope anymore. But we've seen the look of desperation in Senku's face before and when like, oh shit, we're screwed. But usually Senku finds a way to get out of it. And what he did is just throwing essentially rocks. Actually, secretly had some birds, stone birds in his pouch, and he essentially threw them at Hyoga to kind of distract him a bit, and then that's when you kind of had Tsukasa get back into the fold and everything, which you had a great like image panel of the two just standing together.
Yeah. Pause the video for a second.
Okay guys, back from that quick cut, sorry. Anyways, what I definitely liked here is Tsukasa made the callback from season 1 saying, "It doesn't matter whatever happens. If there's something about it to attack you, Senku, I'm always gonna have your back and protect you," which I loved him saying that line. I really did. Because even after this whole, because the line feels so important from the fact that after this entire whole thing, how the way Tsukasa treated Senku by damn near killing him one time and then almost killing him again, for him to essentially say, I got your back. I think he said that because obviously Senku didn't have no ill will towards him. And it was really good writing. Really good writing. I liked it. Your thoughts on that part?
Yeah, and the fact that he recalled that he broke that promise once, and he said he will not do it again.
Yeah, and then at the same time, which even makes the scene even better, they're playing. I believe this is opening 1 of Dr. Stone. Which
that's opening 2.
Okay, opening 2. Okay, they play opening 2. I was like, oh shit, they brought back the season 1 opening. Let's go. This powerful scene where they literally tag teaming together, and you essentially have Senku trying to find something science related to back up Tsukasa, and you just have Tsukasa fighting Hyoga. Now eventually it gets to the point where Hyoga's got what's his face cornered, and actually before this, when it looked like all hope was lost, and this goes out to the desperation of Hyoga. He's telling Senku like, bruh, until you listen to me, I'm gonna cut off every finger. I'm gonna cut off your legs. I'm gonna cut off your arms. I'm gonna make sure you're tortured bad enough till you finally give in. And you just see how
that's some Frieza talk right there.
Yeah. And then and when he said that line, and you see him like cut Senku, at first I cut Senku's pinky off for a second. But when you hear him say those lines, you really do see how much of a lunatic Hyoga is.
You don't even need to hear his lines to know he's a lunatic. You can just see it in his eyes.
Yeah. One of the few times he opens his Brock shut eyes, and he's like, you can see the veins through his eyes, and he's like, ha ha ha, I win. But he didn't. So what happens is, it's looking like Tsukasa's on the rope. Senku gets involved, then Senku gets hit, but then, what happens next is Senku actually leaves some like gunpowder essentially down. He lights up it, and it's looking like, oh, they're gonna burn this MFer to death. But then this man is like, I'm like, what the hell? anime, but come on, man. Like, you gotta be shitting me. I don't think I'm gonna see burnt Hyoga. This man blows it away like it's nothing. Oh my goodness. But what happens next is, like I said, Tsukasa's down. It looks like he's down for the count because he's obviously, the injury's starting to get to him and everything. And that's one, too. It looks like Senku's going to get involved again, or before Senku can get involved again. Hyoga, what it looks like, to stab it. I'm like, oh shit, he stabbed Senku. But technically, he didn't really stab Senku. I'm like, wait, what? Something's going on here. And I'm like, did he have some sort of armor plate? And that's when we later find out. He's like, oh yeah, Hyoga, I just got to tell you something. Now, to me at first, I'm like, don't tell me that's some sort of bomb. But no, it wasn't. Senku's like, oh yeah, Hyoga, I just wanted to thank you because it was you that lent me this idea and helped me out here. And essentially, we all recall that Hyoga was the person that kind of smashed the other telephone. And essentially what Senku has is the telephone stuff with all the batteries remaining in it. And essentially he made a taser, just a taser where it connects to his pinky, the little battery extension points. And all he did is he just touched it with freaking him, and then he was shot.
Hey, oh, dramatic finish.
Yes, which was such a satisfying thing. I don't know what they're gonna do with Hyoga. I don't know how they're gonna lock him up because in this stone world, unless you get him like legit, stuck behind a rock of stones, there's no way there's a way he would break out of an easy bamboo type of trap. That dude might need to be put in like some sort of rock cave or whatever, and you have to have people monitoring him with like, I guess, rock formations around it where he can't break out. But he's done for the count. Senku and Tsukasa give a really dope half five, and that's where the episode ends off. So I don't know if Tsukasa's gonna live or die. I hope he lives. Maybe they can do something to where he can only have one lung, but we're in the Stone Age, and in order to do that shit, you would need to do surgery. So,
maybe Senku will come up with something.
Something, but we'll just have to see where it's going. Hopefully for Mirai's sake, she doesn't lose her brother just as she gained him back.
Mm-hmm.
Which, this time it would be permanent. So yeah, other than that, I think that's really kind of it. And I think too, if Tsukasa does pass on, I feel like there's gonna be no more Tsukasa Empire. I feel like that's just gonna be one group of people just working together. I think that's what it's gonna be if that happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen. A very good episode. I very much enjoyed it. The emotional moments with Tsukasa reuniting with his sister, and then the dope badass moment of that ending fight, which I would probably more than likely say that's the final fight of season 2.
Is that your thumbnail?
What?
The high five moment?
No, it's the part when Senku and Tsukasa are about to fully team up and tag team with each other.
Okay. Good enough still.
So, yeah, good episode. I very much enjoyed it. Like I said, we only have 2 more episodes of Dr. Stone. Shit. But hey, everything good must come to an end. Anyways, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys like the video. Leave a like if you like the video. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this episode of Dr. Stone, as well as do not give any spoilers, please and thank you, for what happens going forward. As well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Dr. Stone content, as well as any other anime content and other stuff on the channel. Other than that, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day or night, or when you're trying this video. Until then, guys, hopefully you guys are staying safe and wearing your mask. Till then, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.